This is the Mussar on separate Devarim. Separate Devarim usually we read it before Shabbat. Now it's very interesting that Chazal tell us that the second Betamikdash got destroyed because of Sinat. Because Sinat, hatred without reason. What does Chinam mean? Without reason, not valid reason, not reason. Reason. Now it's very interesting that in the parasha that we read the Devarim usually we read it before Shabbat. Now, if you look at the parasha of the Devarim, you find the blushing of Sinat in the parasha. A very interesting context. Now, Chazal tell us that Betamikdash got destroyed because of Sinat Chinam of people between each other, and we find the word of Sinat. It's very interesting for me that we find the word of Sinat in the parasha. It has to have some shaykhut, some connection between this Sinat that the parasha is talking and Sinat Chinam that Betamikdash got destroyed. Now it says when the Meragelim, when the spies came back, what happened by you? You gossip, you slander in your tents. Very interesting. Slanders in your tents. What does it make difference? Word. Interesting. Why should Torah says slander in tents? And you said, that's first. Then what do you say? The Sinat Hashem, because of a hatred, Hashem took us out. To give us Biad Ha'emori to destroy us. But imagine, Leil Pesach, we gave for Chosod and we sang HaKadosh Baruch Hu, give the daughter HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. There's a passage in Torah in this parasha says, on the night of coming out, they were about to come out, they said this coming out, B'sinat Hashem Otanu, because of a hatred Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. To destroy us. Therefore, you see the word of sinner here. Now, Rashi tells us what's going on over here. First of all, Batirag means Lashon Har. Then Rashi says, Be'aholechem. It's very interesting. Be'aholechem. What happens in your home? What type of talk you're going to have? Shabbat table. After you come back from the shul. How do you talk? What do you say? What do you say about the shul? What do you say about the Rabbani? What do you say about the school? What do you say about people? What the aholechem in your oil? Because the surgeon tells us it comes out with the standard at home. What type of talk they're gonna have at home? And the talk at home was B'sinat Hashem Otanu. Who are you? Rashi says Hashem loved you. About Atem Solimot, but you hated it. The word Mashal. There's a parable that it says, whatever that's in your heart against your friend, you feel that is you feel that's what is in his heart toward you. Because you hate Hashem, you feel Hashem hates you. Interesting psychology in human beings. Once you hate somebody, you feel he hates you. That's Sinat Chinam. He loves you, he likes you. He wants to do good to you. But what do? You perceive that he hates you. Why? Why do you perceive? Because you hated him. You don't like him. Something that happens that you hate. Therefore, through that, you feel that he hates you, but really doesn't hate you. He loves you. Now, Rashi goes on and says, how could the Harisai say something like that? How could they say like that? They justified whatever that they said. On Perek Aleph, Pasuk Chavsar. Perek Aleph, Pasuk Chavsar. B'tzad Hashem Otanu Otanu Mitzrayim, Hotzato Lesinah. Taking out was with hatred. Mashal Lemelech Pasuk Adam Shol Shnei Banim. It's a parable to a king that has two children. And he has two fields. Achat Shel Sagya, Achat Shel Ba. One field has irrigation, has water inside, supply of water inside. The other one doesn't have. You have to rely on rain. The one that he loves, he gives with the water supply. The one that he hates, he gives the one that has to rely on rain. Eretz Mitzrayim is the land of sakya, irrigation. Because the river Nilos comes and waters it. Whereas Canaan Shabbat, whereas Canaan is the land that rains. He took us out of the Mitzrayim, but the Lord is Canaan, and give us the land of Canaan, that we have to rely on water that comes from Shamayim. Therefore, we have to see whether water comes, doesn't come. Person wants the thing to be at stake, to be ready. In Mitzrayim, there is the water. Supply Nilos gives and gives water. You don't have to rely on anything, right? You don't have to job, you don't have to pray, you don't have to do anything. But here, you have to wait whether the water comes, doesn't come. Therefore, the fact that you see that Eretz Israel is given to us, and there is time to the Mitzrayim, then he hates us. Let's see a very modern mashal of this. Somebody works in downtown, and he keeps Torah, keeps Shabbat, keeps Mitzvot, and he has a neighbor, he's a Chinese neighbor, that is over the he worships idol. And he comes and says to Rabbi, see, I keep Torah, I keep Mitzvot, and I have always, every month I have a problem. IRS comes, my merchandise goes wrong, this and that. And my friend, he has an idol in the shop, and every month it grows bigger and bigger, becomes better and better. I have problems, it grows. I have problems, it grows. Very good family, very good children, healthy, everything goes well. And here I'm keeping Torah and Mitzvot. See what happens. This is a modern example of what the Sinat Hashem Torah Mitzvah. In other words, life is perspective. Life is perspective. In other words, if somebody has such a perspective, short perspective of looking at the Chinese with ideals and him himself streaming Torah Mitzvot, there were a lot of times when we keep Torah Mitzvot, we feel everything has to be red carpet, everything has to be glorious, everything has to be. If I was Baruch Hu does to these people that they are going, they worship Avodah Zarah, everything goes well, how come we keep Torah Mitzvot and things goes wrong this way, that way, this way, that way? This is what Torah tells us over here. And the point is to understand the perspective that the person has in life. In other words, if perspective of life is what's happening right now, you live Ulam Hazeh, you believe in Ulam Hazeh, you think that right now Ulam Hazeh, then you feel, he has everything you don't have. But somebody who lives with HaKadosh Baruch, I tell you even more than that. See, the point is like this, that Torah here, we're talking about Lechem, is saying that Shabbat is that was the gossip that they said created Shabbat to make us to understand that that's not true. A lot of times, you feel they have it better, but you don't know what's happening in their life. You don't understand what type of life they have, how many psychologists they go through, how many therapists they go through. The life doesn't have meaning, purpose, anything. You don't have what type of children they have. The children that, they go out of the home, they do whatever that they want. There is no purpose. Just a person looks at something on surface and he feels, this is what Sinat Hashem Otanu. Mamash what Torah is saying. Torah is saying that once you see the face value, you come up, wow, the Mitzrayim have it much better than us. The water, the water comes and gives it to them. And here we have to rely on the rain that comes. No, rain comes, doesn't come. No, there is a pasuk in Torah. In other words, Torah tells us that Torah warns us this. The land, Pashat Erev, Perek Yud Pasuk Yud, this land that you got there, look at Eretz Mitzrayim be, Asher Yisrael Misham. It's not like Eretz Mitzrayim. That you plant and you water with your regel, it's in your control, you water it. The land that you're going to possess it, it rains. Now Rashi points out that Eretz Mitzrayim, they have to work so hard. They have to take the water and bring it. And it's a land that is up and down. But some place gets water, some place doesn't get water. And here you are, you are sleeping in your bed, and you don't have to work so hard, and the Baruch Hu sends the rain. It's the land that the Hashem is searching, investigating about the land. It's examining, it's guiding. That's saying get lost. The eyes of Hashem is there from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Hashem is supervising, gives it tachlit, gives it purpose, gives it dimension, how to go, how to come. Therefore, Torah here warns us that to compare notes. Therefore, they did it in the face value and they said Sinat. Therefore, when we look at life, face value in our relationship with our friends, with everybody around us, and the face value, there are a lot of times we hate them, we think that they hate you, like the Torah says over here. But if we become more profound, we look at life as a purpose, as a goal. All of us who are working together bring Mashiach. Not a question of how much money I have, how much money you have, how much kavod he gets, how much kavod you get. It's a matter of unity together to bring the Mashiach. Working together bring the Mashiach. And we are like the Hakadosh says, it's like a big stone here. We have to pick it up. Whoever picks up part of the stone is helping everybody. Therefore, that should be the perspective. Once the perspective, then everybody is helping each other. Everybody is working together to bring a bigger goal, which is Mashiach. And B'ezrat Hashem, we should be zoche to Mashiach Tzidkenu and Nechama B'Yerushalayim.